Hey guys, welcome back. This is Rahul. So in this video we will talk about locators and how we can use them. So I'm creating a new file here, locators.spec.js, and I'm using this code. This is the same code which we have used in the previous file. I just changed the website. I'm opening the Cypress runner here. And I'm running the second spec file which contain a test case. So this should redirect us to the website automationpractice.com. Okay, so the redirection is started and we should be redirected to automationpractice.com. The page is loading, it is taking some time. Okay, now the page is loaded. Okay, let me assert the URL part. I'm copy pasting some code to save time. Okay, so I've asserted the index.php should be there in the URL. So first assertion is passed, and let me add one more assertion here, the title of the page. So we can get the title of the page using the function cy.title. It will get the title of the current page. So cy.title dot should, then I can use the first parameter as the what is our expectation, that is include, and then what part should be there. Okay, so it is my store, and just save it. So as you can see, the test is started and both the assertions are passed. Okay, so now I will try to click on the sign in button. Okay, so I'll extract the locator for using the open selector which is provided by Cypress in the test runner itself. Just select it and click on the locator, and you can copy the command directly cy.get in this and just perform the action whatever you want to perform. So we will try to click on this button. So it has clicked on the button and we are on the login page. Okay, now I'll show you some other locators, how we can use them. Okay, so to use the class name, we can use dot and then the class, so it is login. So you can see I used dot login in the previous method. Now I'll try to show you how we can locate other elements as well. Okay, so now if I try to locate this class using the method which I showed you, now you have to remove all the spaces or replace them with dot. Okay, so I'm removing all the spaces. You can see we are getting 3 classes. So instead of using class name here, I'll try to use something else. Okay, so I can see ID is there. So to use ID, you can use hash and the value. Okay, so it will locate the element. So if you want to locate some element using some other property other than class name and ID, you can use this operation, like you have to pass the key value pair type thing, like type is text, and if you want to pass multiple things, like type is text and name is email. Okay, so now we are getting 2 match, but we need only one occurrence, so I'll use this data validate as well. Okay, let me just type it, data hyphen validate, and it should equal to is email. Okay, now you can see we are able to locate this. So this is another way, and there is one more method, that is the selector sub extension. Okay, so it is really simple and really improves the productivity. So you can just click on the element on the text box or whatever you want to extend the locator for, and just start typing. If you want to use the class name, just type dot and the class name, but since this class name is present in 3 locators, I won't use it. So if I type input, okay, and I just enter the bracket, it will give me all the results which are present. It will say whether it is a CSS or XPath, and it will give me the uniqueness of the element as well. So input ID is like it is highlighted here, is unique and giving me one element. Okay, so I can use it. So I'll just type cy dot get, and in the single quotes the value which we got, let me just change it to double quotes, and then we want to type something, so dot type, and let me just enter some random value. So I'm not saving the test case, I'll extract the value for password as well. So for password I'll try to use the ID. Okay, so for ID we can use hash. So I'll remove this locator and enter the hash and the ID. Okay, and in the password I will type random digits. Okay, as soon as I save it, the test will restart again. Okay, as you can see, it has entered the email ID and the password in the respective fields. Okay, but it was too fast, so I'll show you one method by which you can delay the typing. So in the type method itself, you can pass the second argument. Okay, I'm passing the second argument. You have to say delay and a colon, and whatever time you want the delay to be with each digit. So I'm passing 500 milliseconds. So it will type A, then half a second gap, then B, then half a second. Okay, let's see. So it is typing, you can see it is typing really slow now. Okay, so similar to delay, there are different methods. So if you want to perform if you want to increase the timeout of a particular command, you can increase the timeout. Okay, let me show you. So I'll increase the timeout for this one, cy.get, and in the click method itself I'll pass timeout colon and how much time I want to increase. Okay, I'll increase the timeout to 6000 milliseconds. By default the timeout is 4000 milliseconds. Okay, and now I'll try to show you like we will try to click on the sign in button. Okay, so I extract the path for this one. You can see button type is submit, ID is submit login, and name is submit login. Okay, so this time I'll try to use the so this time I'll use the name, and we will use selector sub only. So as soon as I type button, okay, and you can see it is giving me a list of all the unique locators for only this field. Okay, all these list is for this particular field only, so I'll use this one. Okay, it is highlighting the sign in button, you can see. So I'll click on cy.get and then the value. Okay, change the single quotes to double quotes, and then the click function because we want to click on it. So dot click. Okay, let me save it and it will run the test case again. Let's see how it goes. So just clicking on the sign in button, typing the email ID and the password, and it clicked on the sign in button, and yeah, we got the error because this is like user is not registered. Okay, let me show you one more method which you might encounter in your application or in your project. Okay, so suppose this sign in button is not having any property by which we can identify it uniquely. So you can see that this span tag is available. So within this span tag the text sign in is available. So we will try to click on this button using this span tag. Okay, so I'm just commenting this code and I'll try to click on the button using this. Okay, so cy.get me the span. Okay, so this will get me all the spans within the application on that page. Get me that span which contains the text. I need to pass the text sign in. So and then I want to perform the click function. Okay, so it is basically chaining of methods. Get me the span tag, all these span tags, and then which contains sign in, and then click on it. Okay, let me just save it and let's see if it works or not. So it clicked on the sign in, entering the email ID and the password, and yes, and it clicked on the sign in button. We got the error. And you can see we can we can use the time travel feature to go back at each step. Okay, let's just go try this. We landed to the application, to a session passed, then we clicked on the sign in button. Okay, page reloaded, then we got the input field, then we typed in this field before and after. Okay, we got the password field, we typed in it, then the span, these are all the spans, then the span with the sign in tag, sign in text, and then we clicked on it. That's it guys, thank you so much.